saw him in the drive-thru one day. So this drive-thru that I'm sitting in, I actually was behind him. He was in a truck and I was behind him. And of course at that point, because he knew I knew and blah, 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 of course there was no hello.
After 20 plus years. I'm doing this because I want to help somebody else understand that if it is happening to them, that they can speak about it, they can tell somebody, they can tell the local authorities, they can tell support groups, they can tell somebody about it and not hold it within inside of them for over 20 years. I want to be that example to you to not be alone. If I can do it, I think anybody can do it.
That's beautiful. So tell us what happened that night.
Well, what I remember is hearing a door open and footsteps up the wooden stairs of the old farmhouse that I grew up in, and my actual physical door open and the door shut, and I had a twin waterbed, and he laid on top of me on the twin waterbed and started having his way with me. And at first I didn't know who it was. I couldn't see. I was sleeping and I woke up in the middle of it, and he was penetrating me, and I told him no. I felt sad, scared, embarrassed, ashamed, and so I stayed quiet, and I told him to please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. He kept going, going, going. And I said, if you don't leave, I'm gonna scream and I'm gonna tell my dad, and he has a gun, so you better get off of me and you better leave me alone. And he finally did. And he shut the door and he walked back down the wooden stairs, and I stayed in my bed crying and sad because of what just had happened. And I had a high school boyfriend at the time that I loved extremely, very much, and they played on the same football team. So I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want anybody to think that I cheated on my boyfriend, or I wanted that, because I didn't want that. I didn't want that at all.
This is my childhood home. This is where I grew up and graduated from Smithville High School. Very proud of that. Smithville was a great school, and I ended up earning a full ride athletic scholarship. So I took what was happening negatively into a positive. But this is my childhood home, and where I was raped was in that bedroom up at the top. The perpetrator came in the middle of the night, or roughly around 1:30 in the morning. Both my stepmom and my dad were asleep. Because I was fearful of what was going on, and my dad and I didn't feel the strength to scream. I didn't feel the strength to scream when my perpetrator was raping me. So I kept quiet, and I kept quiet for 20 plus years until today. I just want to tell another young girl in a small town to speak up, because you're not alone and there is help. And I don't want another girl in my hometown to spend 20 some years holding this inside, because it's not fun. And really, that's what it is. I want somebody else to be helped and encouraged to move forward. If it does happen to a young girl, as it happened to me here, I just hope that that young girl is strong enough to go forward and to tell somebody. And I hope that my hometown, my small hometown, understands that you can get help, and you will be heard.
So in 2008, after I finished my MBA, I came back to Smithville. I didn't find love on the West Coast, and it's really expensive to live out there. So when I came out in 2008, I started dating a gentleman that actually went hunting with my perpetrator. And I just wanted to tell my current boyfriend at that time what had happened, so they don't go into the woods and drinking beer and say, hey, guess what happened? You know, I've been with her too, because that's not the situation. He was never with me. He raped me.
So tell me about that moment when you confronted him.
So because I was dating the gentleman that goes hunting with him, and I felt kind of free by telling that person, I thought, well, you know what? Next step is just to confront him in the town tavern. And I did. And I acted a little ditzy when I was confronting him. I said, oh, Jimmy, I've had this dream. This is what happened. I heard footsteps. He goes, it happened. And I go, and I heard the door open. It happened, he says to me. I said, no, Jimmy, you don't understand. You're not hearing me wholeheartedly. You shut my door. You got on top of me on the twin waterbed. It happened, he says. And I'm playing ditzy, like, oh, no, it's just did about 10s. It happens. And then I cussed him out, and I've never seen him since. When I've been in support groups, and I've been able to tell other survivors that I was actually able to confront the perpetrator, they said, well, you should feel lucky. You should feel lucky that you got that admittance from him. And I said, you're right, I do feel lucky. But now it's time to report it. Now it's time to officially document it. In the state of Missouri, there's no statute of limitations for forcible rape. And he raped me. I broke my silence. Do I have perfect relationships? No, I don't. But I'm human, and I do the best that I can. People have called me names, they called me crazy, they said I don't believe you, that could never happen to you, you were a successful athlete, blah, 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 that could never happen. He was a quarterback or whatever position he played in football, like, he would never do something like that. Come forward, and there are organizations and people that can help you and break that silence and not live like I have lived for over 20 years knowing what happened to me.